guys, so in my last Empties video I kind of made a pledge to use up more products, but not just buy new ones and kind of forget about the old ones and just accumulate loads and loads of products in my cupboards. So I've been sticking to my promise and I've kind of really been trying to use up all the kind of half empty products. It was quite tricky. I mean, you know me, I like to go on a bit of a spending spree every month, but I just really knuckled down and I decided to use everything up. So the bulk of this video is going to be skincare because I do have a vast amount of skincare, so it's not hard to kind of go through it too quickly. The first product I have here is Hydraluron, and this is actually my new one because I lost my old one, which was empty somehow. But I love this product. It's really great if you have dry skin or even if you have oily skin. I'd say all skin types could use this. It's basically a very gel-like texture and it's full of hyaluronic acid, which is the new kind of wonder ingredient for moisturising the skin. And what you do is you basically put it on just to clean skin, so your first step after you've cleansed and toned and everything like that. And it just helps you use less moisturiser. It helps kind of lock in the moisture to your skin from your moisturiser, and it basically just keeps your skin plumped up and nice and fresh feeling. So I mean, you don't instantly see a difference with this. I think once it goes on, it almost kind of dries and it feels like there's nothing on your skin, but you really notice it throughout the day. Once you've applied your moisturiser, it just feels like that moisture is locked into your skin. And let's see how many times I can actually say the word moisture in one sentence. So I think I would definitely repurchase this. I already have. This is my new one. They are quite steep, quite pricey, so I kind of wait for when they're on 3 for 2, because Boots usually have like a 3 for 2 on skincare every so often, so I just stock up then. So the next product I've used up, it's kind of been a bit of a love-hate thing, and this is the LOM Cleansing Balm, and I mentioned this in my last skincare video I think, and I said how much I loved it, how much I liked the way my skin felt after I'd used it and the way it went on and everything, and I still think that. But recently, since kind of really getting into Caroline Hirons' blog, which is called beautymouth.com, I'll link it below. She's like the skincare idol. She's in the industry and she's, you know, really expert on all things skincare. And one of her big things is that she can't stand products with mineral oil in them, which is basically it's like a byproduct of petrol. It's sometimes listed as paraffinium liquidum, I think, in the ingredients, and it's basically just a really cheap and nasty product that doesn't absorb into your skin, and just, you know, it's really a way that companies bulk up their products for more of a, you know, cheaper. And unfortunately this cleanser does contain mostly mineral oil, and I think, I mean, it is a cleanser, so you are wiping it off your skin, so it's not as bad as putting on a moisturiser with mineral oil, but I still find that I don't really want to put it on my face basically. I noticed that I get a lot of these little under the skin spots, which are basically like not red at all, they're just tiny little pimples and they just lurk there and they never come to a head or anything. But I think it's just more congestion, and I kind of put that down a lot to using mineral oil in products. I think it just really sits on my skin and it congests it, and I just would rather not have anything to do with it. But it's a shame because this is such a lovely cleanser, so I just wish it didn't contain it. But I've used it all up. I mean, I wasn't just going to waste it, and I still think it's a great product. So if you find that your skin doesn't react to mineral oil or you're not bothered about using it, I definitely recommend using this cleanser. So the next product is an eye cream, and this is the Balance Me Wonder Eye Cream, and I like this product. I haven't used it for quite a while. This is probably the first thing that I finished, so a couple of months. At the moment I'm using a similar product from Origins, which is their GinZing eye cream. It's got the same kind of brightening and lifting ingredients in it, so it's kind of the same thing, but I do really like this. I find it's very light, so it doesn't moisturise too much, but it still leaves your skin nice and hydrated. So if you're sort of a person that doesn't like too heavy an eye cream, this would be a great one for you. And I would buy it again. I think it's lovely, but at the moment I've got lots of eye creams to kind of go through, but I think I will come back to it eventually. So my last two skincare empties are both moisturisers, and the first one is the Roche-Posay Effaclar M, and I think I mentioned this again in my last skincare video, and it's basically their mattifying moisturiser, so it's great for oily skin, which I do have. Mine's kind of more combination at the moment, so a bit dry, a bit oily, but I find this just goes on really smooth. It kind of has a lot of hydration to it, but then it really mattifies down, so it's a really good base for makeup, and it's really good if you get that kind of like shyness across the face throughout the day. I do have none of these. I have already bought one. It's in slightly different packaging though. I think they changed the branding slightly, but it feels the same. But I'm kind of alternating it at the moment with my Origins GinZing moisturiser, which I've just kind of discovered, and I'm in love with it basically. That one's slightly different in that it is a bit more moisturising, so I kind of switch between them depending on how my skin feels. But yes, I do really like this moisturiser. So the next one is the Estée Lauder Daywear moisturiser, and this is what I was using before the La Roche-Posay one and the Origins one. And I think I wore it more in like the winter, so the colder months, and I think it's really great for a lot of moisture, but if you still have quite oily skin. It's designed for combination normal to combination skin, so it gives you a lot of hydration but it doesn't feel too greasy or heavy, which I find quite rare to find in a cream. So I think at the moment this would be too much for my skin just because it's a bit sunnier most of the time anyway, and a bit warmer, so I think it wouldn't work quite as well for me in the spring and the summer, but I would definitely come back to this when it's a bit colder. It is super pricey though. I think it's about £40, which just scares me really, but I would pay that for it because it did last me a long time and it is a really nice moisturiser. So moving on to hair care, and again, as I do have quite a lot of hair, I seem to go through hair care products quite often. So the first ones I have here are the All Soft Shampoo and Conditioner, and these are basically for kind of dry, brittle, damaged hair, and they're just really smoothing and they put a lot of moisture back in, which I find I really need because I have still quite a lot of bleach in here, and you know, I use heat tools probably too often, but they just kind of really rejuvenate my hair, I guess, and they smell absolutely amazing, so I would definitely buy these again. At the moment I'm using the Bumble and Bumble Surf Shampoo and Conditioner, which is great. It gives you this amazing kind of like surfy, beachy texture, but I do find they're a little bit drying, so what I'd probably do is I'd alternate them with these two. I'd use, you know, that one day and then these ones just to put the moisture back in. So the next one I have is the L'Oreal Elnett Heat Styling Spray, and these are basically heat protectants with a built-in kind of styling product. So I've got the one for volume, but they have one for curls and for straight hair as well, I think. And basically you just use them to help lock in a style to your hair, but as well, you know, protecting it from the heat. So this is really great for blow drying your hair. I kind of spray it all over into the roots and then just blow dry my hair upside down, and it really helps lock in a lot of that texture and a lot of that style, because I have quite long hair and it's kind of fine but there's quite a lot of it. I tend to find that when I like blow dry it, or if I let it dry naturally, it just goes very limp and very kind of flat. So I think this is really helpful if, you know, your hair doesn't have a lot of volume or anything in it. It really kind of puts the volume back in. So I'd like to try this one again. I'd definitely get it again, and I'd like to get the one for curls too, because I think when I style my hair I tend to curl it with like a curling tong, and yeah, it doesn't hold the curl too often. This is probably about a day's worth of curl, so you can see it's kind of dropped already, but yeah, I think that would be really good for locking the style in. And then the last hair care product is a mini Batiste dry shampoo, and typical of me, I've lost the lid of this. I always seem to lose lids, but never mind. I tend to carry this around in my handbag or like in my purse or something, just for a top up. I think not only do they help to kind of restyle like unwashed hair, but they're also really great for volume too. So if I've worn my hair down and I find that I just don't have a lot of volume in it, I just spray this through the roots and give it a little bit of a shake up, and it just kind of boosts it up a little bit. I used to always buy the tropical one, which is kind of quite coconutty smelling, but this is just the original, and I think I prefer this one now. It's just very clean and it doesn't kind of leave your hair smelling too much like some of the other ones can do. So I would definitely repurchase this. I do actually have like a big size of it as well, which I use when I'm at home, but they're just really handy to carry around. So next I have a shower product, and I'm surprised at how long this has actually lasted me. This is the Philosophy Pumpkin Pie Shower Gel, and I actually bought this in January sales. I think I mentioned it in a haul back then, and I've literally used this every single day since then, sometimes even twice, and it's only just run out, so that's about 6 months of use, and it's still even got some left. You could probably get about a week's worth out of what's in the bottom there, but it doesn't really pump out anymore. But I'm seriously impressed with the lasting power of this, even though it is quite a large bottle. So yeah, this is a pumpkin pie one, and it was more sweet and sticky than I thought it would be. It's still a nice smell, but I don't think I'd buy this one again. I think it's just a Christmas limited one, so I probably wouldn't be able to get my hands on it anyway. But I also bought the Christmas cookie one at the same time, which I've yet to use yet because I haven't needed to. So I'm using that one at the moment, and again, it just doesn't go down at all. So that'll probably last me until Christmas again, when I can buy another one. And then last of all is actually a makeup item, and I think I said this in my last Empties video, but it's so hard for me to use up makeup. I have so much of it that just nothing ever gets finished. So I'm quite surprised that I've actually finished this. But it's the Gemma Kid Light as Air foundation, and this week I actually did a blog post on this foundation and how sad I am that you can't actually buy it anymore. I think Gemma Kid went into administration a couple of months ago, so basically this will never be out again. I mean, fingers crossed someone will save them and, you know, they'll bring this back, because it is an absolutely beautiful foundation. It's got a really great coverage, but you can still kind of buff it out to be quite light, or you can really build it up to be a real full coverage. But it just sits so nicely on the skin, and it literally smooths out like every single pore you've got, any little lines or anything like that. It's such a nice foundation, and it just feels, as the name suggests, just really light on the skin. I actually managed to find one of these on eBay recently in my colour, brand new and unopened and everything, so I kind of like snapped that up as quick as I could. So this is actually my old one, which I've had for quite a while, so I kind of felt a bit better using it up because I was kind of scared of using it in case I could never get it again. So now that I have a whole brand new one, I've been using it a little bit more and, you know, falling back in love with it again, which is probably a bad thing. But if this ever comes out again, please, please, I would definitely buy about 10 of them. So those are all my empties, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching that. I'd be really interested as well to know your kind of opinions on mineral oil. I'm thinking of doing a blog post about it soon, so let me know what you think, you know, if you're for it or against it, or if you're kind of like in between. So yeah, that'd be quite interesting. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!